For the Rebel Dawn Media, I'm Ezra Lavant. We are breaking for lunch here at the court in Peterborough in the United Kingdom, where Tommy Robinson is suing the Cambridgeshire police for how they abused him, and more to the point, abused his young children several years ago at a football match, that's what they call soccer here, in Cambridge. Tommy is a fan of the Luton football team. These teams travel around. Tommy went with the team with his kids and made a carnival day of it, a family day. He was with his kids. He took them to the park. Then he took them to the pub, which is a UK thing to do. They hang out in the pub all day. It's not like an adult bar in America. It's a family place. Tommy didn't have a spot to drink all day, and he was there with another dad and his kids. And then suddenly, off the street, walk in some bolshy Cambridgeshire cops who demand he immediately leave the pub. And Tommy repeatedly said, why? What for? What for? And they said, if you keep asking, we'll serve you with some dispersal order, which is a thing they have here in the UK. It's an antisocial behavior order. It's very Orwellian. Tommy protested but complied, left the pub with his kids. He was going to leave in half an hour anyways, he says. And the police were not satisfied with that. They frog-marched him to the train station. Now, we know this, not relying on Tommy's recollection or his say-so, but rather because Tommy had the presence of mind to video the whole thing on his cell phone camera. And one of Tommy's friends did the same thing too. You'll see in the video, which you can see elsewhere on this page, TommyTrial.com, that the cops, there was a huge number of cops. I think there might have been up to 20 involved in taking down Tommy and his 3 children of tender years. And they marched Tommy to the train station, and one of the cops, I gotta say, the vibe I got was, it was a bit pervy. He had a camera, and he was filming not just Tommy, but Tommy's children of tender years. Why? Why, other than to cause them to scream in distress and discomfort? And it was, and I should say, and I'm recollecting the story myself, but all of this was adduced in evidence today by these videotapes. Not only was the conduct of the Cambridgeshire police a disgrace, but like I say, there was that one perv cop with his camera focused on Tommy's kids. And so Tommy, shortly after this incident, wrote a letter to the police asking them to preserve the evidence on that police camera. And wouldn't you know it, the police, whoopsies, tee-hee, did we delete that? Oh, we did. It was amazing. The lawyer for the Cambridgeshire police is a bit of a pettifogger, and he was engaging Tommy in minutia, like, oh, when you say your daughter panicked and ran towards the street, was it a car or a bus that she almost got run over by? You said a bus and then you said a car. Mr. Robinson, you're a liar! Yeah, mate, we just had 17 minutes of video footage showing exactly what happened, and your video got eaten by the dog or something. So it was rather pitiful, and I thought the lowest moment of the trial was when the lawyer for the Cambridgeshire cops was implying that Tommy was a bad father for not holding the hands of 3 children. I guess Tommy would, I don't know, use a leg to hold the 3rd kid's hands or something. There was a great disgrace in Cambridgeshire a couple of years ago, but there was a greater disgrace today when Mr. Clemens, who's acting for the defense, said that it was Tommy to blame, the victim was to blame. Instead of having an internal affairs investigation of the cops, instead of finding out how police evidence suddenly, whoopsie, disappeared, instead of seeing whether the conduct of these police lived up to the standards of the police code, they actually defended the cops. And as I said before, I've watched that video several times on the internet, but to watch it again with those 3 cops right there was a revolting experience. Well, listen, I'm going to be here for the next 2.5 days. I'm going to live tweet it. I'm grateful that the judge permitted me to live tweet. I had my little laptop up there, and I was doing my best to tweet as many little moments as I could. I probably did 100 tweets today. I know that's a lot of minutia, but for those of you who follow Tommy Robinson's case as closely as I do, hopefully you'll find that of some use. There is one local journalist here from Cambridge Live, and he's live blogging it. He's not as fast a typist as me, but so far I have to say he's been fairly accurate, and so I recommend his work too. If you go to my Twitter feed, you'll see I link to him. Also, James Dellingpole, a great conservative writer, has taken the train in, and I'm very grateful to see him. And finally, Daryl from politicalite.com, Daryl Goodliff, I believe is his last name, was here too. It was a pleasure to see these other journalists. Where's the BBC? Where's Sky News? Where's ITV? Where's Channel 4? Where's the Daily Mail? Where's the Daily Mirror? Where are the Times of London? Where are they today? There was a story in the Times of London today talking about how Tommy crowdfunds his legal offense. Oh, he must be enjoying these lawsuits because he has to crowdfund for them. Instead of being here reporting the humiliations meted out to his family, they're not here. When Tommy is on defense, when he's charged with a crime or, in the case of what's coming up later this month, a contempt of court matter, the mainstream media are all there to delight when he's at risk. But when Tommy is the one prosecuting the lawsuit, they're not here to be found. They do not want to even grant that an alternative narrative exists, that the police can be abusive to Tommy and his family. I have to say, as I said earlier, I have a great respect for police, and I grew up in a family that held police very high on the moral ladder, and top police are the people to look to for help, and they uphold the rule of law. I am most afraid that if the Cambridgeshire police who are on that video and who are being defended by Cambridgeshire taxpayers to this day, if that is the very model of a Cambridgeshire policeman, this country is in terrible trouble. And it brings the administration of justice into disrepute. You cannot watch that abusive video of the cops, and forget about Tommy. I mean, Tommy can roll with it. Tommy's feelings don't get hurt. But his kids, and to see the glee, it was like someone pulling the wings off a fly. I'm making your daughter cry, and I'm going to walk you to town, and I'm going to video you like I'm some pervert, but because I'm a cop, you can't call the cops on me because I am the cop. And for that to be the epitaph of the reputation of the Cambridge police, the Cambridgeshire police, is the greatest trouble of this. It's the most troubling thing here. I don't know if Tommy's going to win. I think the lawyer for the other side is a good pettifogger, and he's nitpicking, and he certainly is causing a lot of fog. But I think at the end of the day, that brutal, brutal video that Tommy presented, I think that's dispositive. I don't know. I haven't carefully read all the pleadings in this case, and there was a lot of haggling over those legal matters. So that's the update. It's a bit of a ramble here, but it's a contrast between the nitpicky nature of the legal arguments and the brute force of that video, that no one can watch that and say the police lived up to their ethics. It'll be interesting to see that if this one judge, how she is swayed, if at all. I'll be here for the next few days. If you want to see this and all my other videos, go to TommyTrial.com. Of course, I had to crowdfund my expenses to come over here. For those of you who supported me, thank you very much. For those of you who wish to support me, you can also do that at TommyTrial.com. Obviously, I flew economy class airfare to get over here, and I'm watching my pennies and my quid as best as I can. If you can help me, I'd be grateful for that. That's it for now. I'll have more updates from the courthouse in the days ahead. For the Rebel.media, I'm Ezra Lavant. To see all my videos from Tommy's lawsuit against the Cambridgeshire police, go to TommyTrial.com.